Well, a new report details the number of flaws in the handling of a missing New Hampshire child's case. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Brian Yukono.
And I'm Kim Kaluni. And the Massachusetts Office of the Child Advocate released its 100-page report following the investigation into Harmony Montgomery, who was last seen in Manchester, New Hampshire in 2019.
12 News reporter Alexandra Leslie has been looking through that report today, which also details a number of policy and safety recommendations. She joins us live in studio with what she's learned. Alex.
Well, Brian and Kim, those recommendations are primarily directed at the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families, Juvenile Court, and the Committee for Public Counsel Services. OCA's director says there are similarities between these recommendations and others made following the death of David Almond, a Fall River 14-year-old who died in 2020. The director of the Office of the Child Advocate said the decision to place Harmony Montgomery with her father and to return David Almond to his father both took place in 2019.
Many of the OCA's 26 recommendations from the Almond case could be applied to Harmony's case.
Since the 2021 report on Almond, the OCA says there have been extensive improvements in DCF and juvenile court policy and practice.
For this reason, we focus on a series of new recommendations.
That includes DCF developing a comprehensive plan to ensure both parents are adequately assessed and receive support and access to needed services.
DCF must make sure that fathers are provided the same level of attention as mothers.
The OCA also recommends DCF improve its legal advocacy after concluding the DCF attorney in Harmony's case did not present a strong legal case for opposing placing Harmony in her father Adam Montgomery's care or addressing his capacity to care for Harmony's medical and special needs. The OCA also found the court awarded cross-border custody without complying with requirements of the Interstate Compact of the Placement of Children and relied on New Hampshire's case law over Massachusetts case law.
When children are not at the center of every aspect of the Child Protective Service system, then the system cannot truly protect them.
Now, the OCA offered several other recommendations, including that DCF should review a statistically significant sampling of children who have been in its care for more than 2.5 years who have not achieved permanency. Brian?
Now, Alex, what arrests and charges have been made in the Montgomery investigation so far?
Well, as we've reported, Adam Montgomery was arrested in January, and he now faces several charges, including second-degree assault, interference with custody, and endangering the welfare of a child in connection with Harmony's disappearance. Harmony's stepmother, Kayla Montgomery, was also jailed on charges, alleging she lied last year that Harmony was in her household to claim food stamp benefits. They have both pleaded not guilty and are currently in jail. Brian?
Alexandra Leslie live for us this afternoon. Thanks so much.
Now, what happened to Harmony Montgomery? The New Hampshire girl's disappearance remains a mystery.
She lived much of her young life in Massachusetts. A new report is out today with findings about how her case was handled and the new policy recommendations. Harmony was last seen in Manchester in 2019, but not officially declared missing until last December.
12 News reporter Alexandra Leslie joins us now. And Alex, the Office of the Child Advocate says this investigation is unique, right?
Yeah, Shannon, the Massachusetts agency says that this is the first time its office has initiated an investigation of a missing child rather than a child who has suffered a fatality or near fatality. The disappearance of Harmony Montgomery is one of several public investigative reports released by the OCA that OCA says have cast a spotlight on the difficult work state departments undertake with children and their families.
We do know that this beautiful young child experienced many tragedies in her short life, and that by not putting her and her needs first, our system ultimately failed her.
The office also recently released a report on the October 2020 death of David Almond, a 14-year-old autistic boy from Fall River.
The decision to place Harmony with her father and to return David to his father both took place in 2019.
The OCA says many of the findings in its report on Harmony parallel themes in its investigation into Almond's death. While the OCA noted improvements have already been made with the Department of Children and Families and the Juvenile Court, Harmony's investigation offered several additional recommendations for both agencies, including identifying and addressing persistent barriers to permanency and forming a working group to hold policy discussions that map how a child's welfare and best interest consideration are currently presented in care and protection cases.
We owe it to her to make the changes necessary to allow our system to do better in the future.
The OCA's 100-page report details even more recommendations and findings, which goes into detail on Harmony's family history, including her several years in foster care. You can read that full report right now on WPRI.com. Live in studio, Alexandra Leslie, 12 News.